Last night was perfect. She'll never know. That's what the message said. I didn't scream. I didn't cancel. I stood beside them, both my groom and my maid of honor, smiling, until I said, "Instead of vows, I'd like to read some messages aloud." The gasps didn't stop for minutes. You lied to my face, Mom, for years. And you, Chris, you just let it happen. Watch your tone, Ava. You're not a child anymore. No, I'm not, which is why you don't get to manipulate me like one. You're being dramatic. I'm being honest. There's a difference. The kitchen echoed with tension. My father's untouched coffee steamed beside his clenched fists. My brother Chris looked away, lips pressed in guilt. Mom stood stiff, arms crossed like a closing gate. They'd cornered me here again, in my childhood home, like it was still theirs to control. But I wasn't the same Ava anymore. I'm Ava Carver, 26, a licensed paralegal with a mountain of debt I didn't create. My eyes have seen more lawyers' offices than clubs, more hospital waiting rooms than brunch tables. I was the one who stayed, the one who made the calls, who held Mom's hand through chemo, who paid Dad's mortgage when he forgot his passwords again, who covered Chris's DUI fine when he cried over the phone from jail. But no one remembered. No one asked how I was doing until I found the papers. And everything broke. The family, in brief. Mom, Linda, 58. Sweet to outsiders, sharp behind closed doors. Signed my name as co-signer on her second mortgage without telling me. You make enough. Dad, George, 61. Retired early due to stress. Casually cruel. Called me selfish when I refused to cover his gambling debt. Chris, brother, 30. Golden child. Addict in denial. Once crashed my car, left me with the bill. You're just better with money. The bank called me, Mom, they're foreclosing. I didn't even know I owned property. It was a hard time, Ava. We were struggling. So you forged my signature? That's a felony. You always talk about how responsible you are. Because I have to be, because none of you ever were. Dad sat quiet. He knew. Of course he knew. Chris mumbled something. It's not like she meant to ruin your life. I stared at them. It's not just the house. It's my credit, my savings, my future. You stole it. My voice didn't shake, but my hands did. 3 years ago, Mom was in chemo. Chris was in rehab, again. Dad had migraines, code for binge drinking. I was working 3 jobs. I skipped sleep for conference calls, sent birthday flowers from gas stations, maxed out my card on Chris's lawyer when he punched someone in a bar. Mom told everyone at church I was a blessing. But when her will was drafted last month, guess who wasn't listed? Me. I found the flash drive in Dad's desk drawer, labeled vacation. It was bank records, emails, one from my fiancé to my mom. Thanks again for helping with the down payment. Ava doesn't need to know. She'd never go for it. The down payment for the condo in Florida, the one he had bought with my parents, while we were still engaged, while I was planning our wedding. I didn't scream. I didn't cancel. I stood beside them both, my groom and my maid of honor, smiling, until I said, "Instead of vows, I'd like to read some messages aloud." Gasps, whispers, tears. Chris stood up first. "What are you doing, Ava?" Finally telling the truth, the whole truth. I read the emails, the bank statements, the evidence of betrayal. The wedding collapsed around me. Guests left, but I stood, calm, unshaken. Chris texted an apology. Dad called. I didn't answer. Mom came to my apartment 2 weeks later. I was scared. We were drowning. I didn't know what else to do. You had a daughter, but you treated me like a safety net. She wept. I didn't, but I listened. That was new. I handed her an envelope. Power of attorney revoked. A lawyer's card. You're going to need this. 6 months later, I rented a small studio, learned how to make pasta from scratch, joined a hiking group, started dating, slowly this time. My new partner knows everything. I showed him the flash drive on our second date. I forgave my mother. Not because she deserved it, but because I deserved peace. Chris is still figuring things out. Maybe he always will. Dad wrote me a letter. I haven't opened it yet, but I might. I am no longer anyone's backup plan. I am not the forgotten one. I am not just the strong one. I am me, visible, flawed, healing, and finally, free. If you were Ava, what would you have done? Would you have read the messages aloud at the wedding? Would you walk away from your own family, even if they were all you had left? Let's talk about it. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help someone else heal. Drop your opinion below. Do you believe in emotional revenge or quiet peace? Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that speak to the heart, betrayal, redemption, and the power of finally saying the things we never dared to say. And if this story moved you, check out our next video. The inheritance letter she was never meant to read, because sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. You do.